Welcome to ChitChatChai, episode 1. My name is Yasin Ali, this is my brother Amin, and ChitChatChai is all about having a chit, having a chat, drinking some chai.
I'm just here for free food.
Yeah. So, on today's episode, we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about what does purpose actually mean to people, and how does social media impact your journey on finding your purpose. So a bit of context, me, my brother Amin, and I have another brother called Nabil, we run a company called Summer Remedies online, and it's predominantly on social media, so Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And it's had an impact, so we've noticed that it's had an impact on our purpose with Summer Remedies, our purpose individually as well. And we just wanted to share and have that chat about how we're feeling.
Over some chai.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, yeah. So, I mean, why don't you kick us off? How do you think, what does purpose actually mean to you?
Purpose, what does purpose mean to me? Something which is a ongoing goal, something that doesn't really end, but throughout the journey has a purpose that fills you with contentment and happiness. But it doesn't necessarily have to always be happiness and contentment. Feels that, because then if something was easy, just like a shortcut, then you wouldn't truly feel happiness. It has to be a struggle towards it with purpose, and then in the end goal. Is there really an end goal though? I mean, there is, but...
Yeah, that's true. I think purpose doesn't need to have an end goal. I think finding a purpose is continuously defining yourself, right? And defining what your purpose is in each stage of your life. But I think one thing that I find strange is that in order to find purpose, it means to also self-reflect in yourself. So imagine, you don't know what your purpose is. The effort you have to go through all the motions of life and to find out your purpose is going to be difficult. Like, no one can actually tell you. Like, you know when you were going to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you're now at university, you're studying. Like, all that stuff is kind of predetermined, right? But now when you have to find your own purpose, no one's really going to tell you that this is the only way to do it.
Because there is no mark scheme out there.
Exactly, there's no mark scheme, there's no way to cheat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know very well how to work with mark schemes and pass exams, but in terms of finding your purpose, it's something that you definitely won't find on social media. So that actually moves on to the next point.
Exactly.
Very smoothly, actually.
Exactly. So with social media, what we found was, as you're scrolling, there's like even a relationship with social media. So you can be sitting in your bedroom. This is what we were going through, right? And that's why I'm off also most social media. I don't have TikTok. Because I would find myself sitting in bed and 2 hours would have passed.
Yeah, just like that.
But I don't feel like I've wasted time. I just feel like emptiness afterwards. But when I'm going through it, I have this different waves of emotions depending on what I'm watching.
It's like limbo, isn't it? Where actually, if you were to just take a step back and think, what am I looking for when I swipe next? Just that little flick. What are you trying? What are you looking for?
What's at the end of the scrolling?
There is nothing.
Exactly.
Even a famous guy, respect him, Harry from the Simon.
Yeah.
I'll quote him. He said he used to watch TikTok maybe 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes is not a lot compared to most people. But even then, he was like, I can't remember the last 10 videos I've watched.
Exactly.
Let alone the last 3 videos. I even challenged the viewers, if you're watching on TikTok.
Why is he taking my thing?
Whoa.
I challenge the viewers. I challenge the viewers.
Copyright.
I challenge the viewers. 3 things. Can you remember when you started scrolling on social media right now? Number 2. Do you remember the last 10 videos you've watched? Number 3. Can you even guess how long you've been on social media right now? Do you have an estimate on how long you've been actually scrolling? Let me know afterwards.
Even screen time. I'll be honest with you. Before, when uni wasn't really active, it was online. My phone screen time was maybe 14 hours in a day.
14?
Or maybe 12 hours. It was insane.
What the fuck?
And then
That's during uni.
No, it was when uni was online, so it's pretty much not really.
Yeah.
But I took a step back and I was like, wow. out of the whole day, my eyes are locked onto this screen for that many hours in a day. That's depressing, man. Straight up.
But you know what's weird? This is one thing that I want more people to be self-aware about. Is when you're scrolling on social media, there's a difference, right? So when you're sitting in bed and you're going through these videos, you're not actually in your head. You're not actually sitting in your bed watching these videos. You're actually engaging your brain in these events. So if you're watching like a UFC fight, or you're watching snowboarding, you actually feel like you're taking part in that, and it gives you a bit of that dopamine hit. You're like, oh, I'm actually there, but you're not. And that's why you can spend 2 hours and you think that you're on such a journey, but then when you realize it and you shut your phone and you're in a dark room. Your room is probably dark, but the sunshine's probably gone by now. You're under your covers, yeah, exactly. And then when you look at it, it's like, oh, then the emptiness settles in. Because you don't feel empty while you're watching social media.
Well, it's a distraction. It helps fill that empty hole that many people are trying to fill in. Whether it's like materialistic things that social media is always trying to promote. Remember we talked about the next car, man, or the next watch, or the next ring.
Exactly.
Get this diamond if you want to be happy. If you don't have a nice marriage, you need to get your wife a nice big ring.
Exactly.
Or all this other materialistic stuff.
But linking that back to purpose, so all these people that are searching for a purpose, and they're scrolling to find that purpose, whenever they find a character or they find a person with a strong personality, they'll be attracted to it, because it's someone saying with conviction that, yeah, this is something that you should be doing. That's why the hustle mindset, the grind mindset, has become so popular recently. Like, that's why characters like, Andrew Tate, like characters like him who can say with a bit of confidence that, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Like, people gravitate towards it. And that's why the culture of selling a course has become so famous now. Like, everyone is looking for a quick fix, and these courses give you that quick fix, supposedly.
That quick fix, man. Oof. The shortcut to success.
Exactly. Oh, I will guarantee you'll make money. I can literally make a little video right now. Follow my course. I don't have a course. Follow my course. You'll be successful, confident. Women will love you. Money will flock to you. You'll be flying planes, not even economy, private. Follow my course and see what I have. Like, bruh, someone will be like,
sign me up, man.
Yeah, so sign me up, man.
How much is that? Monthly payment, no problem.
Never, man, never. And what's crazy is the people that actually are successful, they're so quiet about it. Like, if you genuinely speak to some of these people, if they see that you're actually curious about it or you're interested in it, they're more willing to share some of the secrets and feed you little pieces, because they know that the journey towards finding that purpose is a long one as well.
I don't think you'd find those types of people on social media though. As in, like, you'd have to.
They're too busy living life.
Leave your dark room where you're just secluded.
And actually do something, yeah.
Go to events or just step outside, touch grass.
But just imagine, right? And this is something that a lot of people speak about. Jordan Peterson, even that the gaming GG guy. He was like, imagine the risk of you continuing this. Right? So you spending 2 to 3 hours a night of things that you don't remember. Every single night. You don't remember it. I'll challenge you to remember 10 videos you've watched in the last week.
Impossible.
It's difficult.
Impossible.
Exactly. So then, if I then say to you, what if you actually channeled that and you actually faced up to the unknown? So if you try and remember the last 10 videos you've watched, and just imagine, instead of you mindlessly scrolling for weeks and months, like, just spend 1 hour trying to figure out what actually makes you happy and how can you actually grow in that space. I was actually speaking to a friend recently, and I said, when I speak to, I'm not going to say South Asian people, but just in general, I'm talking about South Asian people because I've been around a lot of them lately. When I ask them, like, what are you interested in? It'll be the same interest for the past 20 years.
Elaborate.
Like, so there'll be... There's people that enjoy football, right?
Yeah.
There's people that enjoy football or enjoy that one particular game. You can relate to one game as well. Even I can relate to one game. And you'll only be interested in that for like 10, 15 years. And that will continue on. And when you ask that person, like, oh, are you interested in anything else? Have you actually invested time as a hobby in anything else? Like, people be like, nah, like, oh, nah. And it's like that dead glaze, you know, like, oh, nah, yeah. And you speak to some people now, and it's like, what do you like doing in your spare time? Oh, I like hanging out with family. Oh, I like eating food. Like, bruh, no shit.
What did he say?
So it's like, on that level, people need to, like, I feel like finding your purpose is also exploring your personality. Like, try do something that you've never done before. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, don't watch it on Instagram. Don't watch it on TikTok. Don't think about, oh, snowboarding looks amazing. Just go out and do it.
TikTok's so fake, man. Especially, you know, when you see these newly-wed couples, these marriages, it's so fake on social media. How it's all constantly happy, doing this, doing that. And also, what makes me cringe, and I feel like it's really wrong, is to expose the sweetness of your marriage to the public, showing that instead of me, like, let's say for example, there's this wife doing something for the husband, yeah. Instead of just keeping it between their husband and God, they want to show the whole world. You know what? I'm doing it for my husband. I'm gonna make sure everyone sees this, so they know I'm putting in effort.
Oh, I've seen, like, you know those Valentine videos?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know why these people rent a hotel room,
Roses,
put petals,
roses.
and they don't even get candles. They get the LED light candles, yeah, which I think is a bit of a sham. And then they're like showing the whole world that, where it could be an intimate memory.
It just it's like, is it really sincere? You get me?
Or is it for social media for others?
I mean, we already know the answer to that, right? It's literally just for social media.
Yeah. Exactly.
Attention.
Exactly.
But why would you want that type of attention?
Or it's just to show, like, oh, this person's doing this, or I'm doing this. But it's like, oh, I'm happy for you. Yeah.
Not many people think like that, though. How many people are happy for you when they see something on your social media?
That's why I don't post anything. Until now. So, you know, some of these topics that we're talking about, they are known to cause a little bit of stress. As you can see, sometimes stress can cause you to have a receding hairline. And you know what you need in times like this?
What do we need?
You need summer remedies.
What does that even do?
Summer remedies is a natural hair oil.
Yeah.
Summer remedies is a natural hair oil. It's known to bring back hair health. Check our page on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It'll bring back your hair, it'll alleviate some of that stress, and it'll make your hair marvelous.
It'll make your hair line much better.
What? So, like, following on from social media, one of the topics that I've become really self-conscious on is how thoughts feed into, or how social media feeds into your thoughts.
Oof.
So imagine, like, you'll have opinions on certain things. You'll have thoughts that you'll have. And if I ask you, where has that original thought come from? So it could be it could be a variety of topics. There's a lot of controversial topics, right? So there's identity topics. So it's like whether you identify as a gender, as a race, as aligned to a particular faith. There's opinions on faith. So you see a lot of people saying that, even Islam gets a bit of a bad rap nowadays. But then when people actually study Islam, they're like, oh, it's actually similar to Judaism and Christianity. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, they don't condemn the books. So it's a part of our faith to believe in all the books. It's just that they've been altered.
Exactly, but where are these opinions coming from? And I think when people spend a lot of time on social media, people don't realise that their opinions are being influenced by it.
They're a sponge, constantly absorbing.
Exactly, because we were talking about this before. When you are mindlessly scrolling, you just open up the floodgates to your brain. It's like direct access to your brain. You're getting dopamine hits every now and then. And
they also choose. They choose it.
Yeah, they choose what?
When you get the dopamine hits, as in like...
Oh, the algorithm. Yeah.
Very toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had first-hand experience because, as in, I'm the one who makes... my older brother as well, Nabil, we both work together on TikTok and creating content. But the drawbacks with that is the amount of time we actually spend on TikTok. So whilst we are what would you call it? We're consumers, but also we are
Creators.
we are creators, but mainly we are also consumers, and we're absorbing so much information that really like doesn't benefit us at all. So whilst we're trying to look for the latest trends to make the right videos for our account, we're also taking a lot of damage mentally from having to absorb all that nonsense in the algorithm.
Exactly. And you know, one thing I realized as well is that just by you being a creator on TikTok and trying to get like a viral video, right? You're also now changing the way you think to conform to what TikTok is pushing out. So say, for example, there's a new song coming out, right? And the new song is like some trash rap song. You would actually use that trash rap song because you see some benefit in the algorithm. But when you actually think about it, you don't actually want to use that rap song.
And mainly these trash rap songs have insane vulgar words, and the description they're describing is disgusting. And then you have these...
And there's a lot of violence in it as well, man.
Violence, like sexual acts.
Yeah.
Everything that is like revolting. And then with those same lyrics that are really catchy and it's in trend, you have these like underage children as well singing it casually. And it's stuck in their heads. They don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But then that's how you normalize it in the future.
And I think that's one of the issues that we're now facing now. That depression is now on a massive rise. You're seeing kids feeling so confused. And when I speak to parents and I see that there's parents and their kids are on TikTok. Remember we saw that kid recently. Yeah, he was on TikTok, right? He's obsessed with it. And you just wonder, the content that he's absorbing and that he's consuming, how is that affecting his brain? He's getting constant dopamine hits at such a young age. When we were all kids, let me tell you. Yes. I went to the forest. Yeah, I used to hustle up a tree, climb up a tree, and only at the top of the tree I would feel happy. And then I'm brought back to life because I have to climb back down that tree.
I mean, I played with Hot Wheels and Legos and Spider-Man action figures, yeah? That was key for me. And also, I mean, when I was growing up, we used to watch, like, TV, but only, like, for maybe 30 minutes at, like, 9 o'clock, and then we would go to sleep. Yeah. So in terms of, like, getting dopamine hits, it wasn't that much. Yeah? Exactly. As in, it was controlled.
Yeah. And it was more normal. Like, you had to engage all your senses to then actually get some feeling of relief, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, we still cycle a fair bit. Like, when you cycle up a hill, you put in so much effort, you're sweating, you're breathing hard, you're struggling, your calves are on fire. Some people don't even have calves. Your calves are going crazy. And then you get to the top, and your heart is going madness as well. And then afterwards, you get to enjoy that cycle back down, you know? You get to feel happy. But think about it, yeah? You've been going up this hill, like 20 minutes. The cycle down, 2 minutes. Yeah. You're living life for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great representation for life. Like, you should be hustling. And then you should enjoy that, but that enjoyment only lasts until it's way shorter than the actual hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of threat that's coming about in the future. And I think that's the threat of these thoughts that you might have. Let me put another challenge to you, my people. How many thoughts do you have that you actually manifested yourself? Or how many of your thoughts have been influenced by things that you're consuming? It could be the news, it could be Instagram, it could be this video right now. Let me know. Let me know what thoughts you've actually thought of and what things you think you've been influenced of.
Yeah. These green lights are actually so fun, man.
So on to the next part. So one thing that I found really interesting, and this is a topic close to my heart, is when you pay attention to things, right? You're always paying attention to something externally. So you're on your phone, you're paying attention to your phone. Mm-hmm. You're at university, you're paying attention to your studies. When was the last time you actually paid attention to yourself?
I'll be honest with you, I've been doing it pretty frequently.
Oh, damn.
But only because I learned something. I mean, you know what, shall we like dabble in it?
Well, explain like how you, like where you were before and then what helped you transition to focusing on yourself.
Sure, so before I would live day to day pretty much, thinking that when I go to sleep it's guaranteed that I'll wake up the next day, right? no care whatsoever. I was just like, okay, university studies, that's it. But recently, I took a step back and I was like, wait a minute. Like, surely there's a purpose, right? Because everything in this world has a purpose. Whether it's like your laptop, the purpose is to help you like work, right? Your watch to tell you the time. Like even like the sun to provide nourishment to the land, gives light, we can see stuff. But what is our purpose, right? So I took a step back, and I was thinking to myself, what is my purpose? So then it made me look, and I was searching far and wide, and then, I mean, conveniently, the religion of Islam appealed to me more. I'd say that I was Muslim by name, but only recently that I actually decided to actively look into it. And I felt like there was a void in my heart where, just like how we're talking about social media, always promoting materialistic things. I myself personally bought some of these materialistic things. Nothing changed. I mean, you see on these like social media, oh yeah, get these nice shoes. I have them. Nothing's changed. I still wear my old shoes.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable. Not because like people think, oh, they look so nice.
Exactly, yeah.
Knowing that, I actively went out of my way to just find out my purpose. And with that is what I feel like my purpose is to understand why I was here in the first place, right? What I need to be doing to understand who created everything. Because, you know, you can go into that whole debate, oh, this came from that, this came from this, what caused the Big Bang, like, when does it end, right? You can go through all of that. But if you just look into your heart, well, I looked into my heart, right? Because everyone's different. And I felt like it is true that there is a creator. And if there is a creator, what do I need to be doing to, what do I need to be doing to,
Or is it more, what is the purpose that your creator's given?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're searching for what purpose actually fits what you believe.
Exactly. And being able to connect with my creator is one of the main things. Because as you said, with purpose, right? If you were to have materialistic goals, it always ends. So that's where people find, or where they experience depression and all-time lows, because they work towards this materialistic goal. But once they reach it, what's next?
Exactly, yeah.
It's just
it's never
empty.
ending. Yeah.
Luckily for me, I have this never-ending goal until like I die, pretty much, where I'm trying to get closer and closer to my creator. And the only way to do that is to, as you said, when was the last time that you actually reflected in yourself, right? When did you think, what am I actually doing? Not looking at it from an outside perspective. And once I started doing that, I noticed that I had many diseases, and what we call it is diseases of the heart. So for a normal person, you can't actually, from an outside perspective, if you were to look at someone, you wouldn't know what diseases they have, right? It's all hidden, and everyone is like each to their own, pretty much, all on their own journey. You need to take time to look at yourself, see what problems you have, and actually take the time out of your day and actively work on those. So that's what I've been doing recently, because I feel like, although it's a very hard journey, I'm able to, and there's no dopamine receptors, like instant
It's
receptors.
all hard work, right?
Yeah. There's no shortcuts. But you know, if you keep pursuing this, there's contentment and happiness. And although this world wasn't made for us believers to be happy, right? The saying is, this world is paradise for the non-believers and a prison for the believers. Because every single day you're fighting against the common enemy that we all have an enemy to, right? And it's just, we're constantly getting bombarded, but we're trying to, that's pretty much it.
That's interesting, because even social media takes a part in that, right?
Yeah.
So when you're trying to, one thing I realized is, and this is another challenge to the people, if you try and look inside yourself and you sit alone, you put the phone away and you sit alone and you actually think, what am I thinking? You'll notice three things. first of all, this is quasi-meditation, right? And we do this when we pray as well. We channel ourselves and all that. But I'm not even saying do that. Sit alone in a room, put your phone away, and just sit in silence. And think about what thoughts are actually coming into your head. You'll notice in the beginning, you'll have so many thoughts. It'll be like the frequency will be off the charts. But then the more you keep doing it, the slower it becomes, and it starts easing off. And your uneasiness will start calming down as well. And once you reach that state, and that state takes a long time to get to. Because when you're on your phone, you're constantly bombarded. And now what you're doing is taking time out to reflect on yourself. And then at that point, then you start thinking, what thoughts are coming into my head right now? What things do I feel like I need to do? And you might not have, I'm not saying you're going to have the answer. There might be a question posed to you saying, what am I actually doing? I've wasted so many days. I've had this conversation myself. I've wasted so many days, so many weeks, and I can't even remember what I've actually done towards what I want.
Yep. It's even what you said is like a scary, not even a scary thought. It's like a unique thought, because I actually don't know how many people who feel comfortable in doing that.
Mm.
It's so comfortable to just be bombarded with actual content and dopamine rush and all that stuff, where you're eating, you're watching videos, you're going to the toilet, you're watching videos, you're in the shower, you're listening to music. Yeah?
So one thing I want people to imagine this. Come, zoom in my face. Imagine. You've just spent weeks, months wasting time on social media. Now you're a better person. You want to be a better person. You want to be a better you. You're going to spend the next couple of days, next couple of hours. You're going to even spend the next 30 minutes. You're going to put your phone down. You're going to look into yourself, and you're going to try and hear what your mind, what your soul is actually trying to say to you. Like, try and understand, what is it that you want to get out of this life? And then let me know in the comments. Thank you. I think that's a good challenge, no? So tell me, so now that we've talked about social media, we've talked about how social media influences us, how does that affect how you're going to create videos to do with our business going forward? Like, what are your feelings towards that? How do you engage with that relationship with TikTok?
It's a love-hate relationship, I'll be honest with you. Because at one point, I want to create videos that I like and I enjoy. TikTok rewards me with no views for doing that.
Yeah.
And then if I were to use a toxic, vulgar audio, add some quick clips, I get rewarded for it. And I feel like that's not right, to allow everyone to hear these audios, all these things to trap them. I'm also being rewarded for trapping people to waste more time on the app as well. It just feels really wrong, right? That's why I try my best to make wholesome content.
Meaningful content, yeah.
Meaningful content, because with our hair oil, for example, some remedies, we genuinely care for our customers. Every before and after picture is genuine. So that's why I feel like it's my responsibility to put that content out there, because I feel like there's not many companies out there who actually show genuine before and after results. Because you're putting your hard-earned money into a product, and if you were to get scammed, that's not what I want. So that's why I feel like I have to have a little of poison, as in get my content out there, because our product genuinely helps people, and people need to find that out. So I can't just make content that is wholesome and genuine, because then no one will see it.
Yeah, you need to get that exposure. Yeah. So with genuine content, it's difficult, right? Because social media gives you that pump. Like when you're on TikTok, we see these viral numbers, 1 million views, 100,000 views.
Get obsessed with it, man.
You get obsessed. And I remember in the beginning, you were saying, oh, we want to make these videos, and if we follow this trend, it'll be viral. And then when it didn't go viral, you didn't feel so good.
Because what we used to say is we're copying the mark scheme, right? So if a video literally has an audio, has like a couple videos, you can copy that and you'll get literally the same amount of likes and views, right? It was like a lottery ticket.
Copying the mark scheme.
Lottery ticket. Copying the mark scheme. But then sometimes it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And then when you're so used to, bear in mind, within the first week, we got, because of that Will Smith, Jada Smith, all that happened one day before we posted the video.
Yeah.
In our first week, we got 4 million views or something.
Exactly.
Insane numbers.
Exactly.
And what did we do? We copied the mark scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was literally our mentality. So then what happens when there is no mark scheme?
Exactly.
So the only mark scheme out there right now is like £7 hair oil where people aren't even using it, aren't having before and after pictures, but because they know it's in trend, and because they know I'm going to apply it in the video now, and I'm going to say to everyone, yo, I'm using it, you should buy it too. I can't copy that trend.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that I want to bring attention to as well is when you guys started posting, I wasn't involved in the TikToks, right? So I was seeing it from a third person point of view. And when you guys would post a video, some videos would get millions. Yep. And you guys would be on top of the world. Like, you guys would almost be arrogant that, we've done this.
No, it wasn't almost. It was arrogance. Yep.
But then there would be videos where you would get a couple of thousand. And the change in energy was mad.
Yep.
It was like somebody died in the house. You guys were like, oh, yeah, it didn't bang. Oh, why didn't it bang? And you'd start questioning yourself.
Yep.
Even though the content was genuine. And I think that's one thing that people need to be really careful about, especially on social media, is that just post what is genuine to you. Don't think about the likes. Don't think about the views.
Especially with TikTok, what I found out is, I'm no expert, but if you actually spam videos, regardless if it's genuine or not, I mean, let's say, for example, you have to spam genuine content, pretty sure after like 20 of them, one of them will go viral anyways, But it's just like, you know how you find your purpose, right? You get that shortcut, you use the audio that's trending, you follow the same format, all that stuff. I mean, each to their own, if you want to do that. But it's very rare to find genuine content on TikTok. It's normally, how did I lose all my hair? Find out. Well, there's next grabs. It was tragic. I'm not going to say I haven't done that. I felt like I've had to do that in order to get views.
Yeah.
But I'm coming from the perspective that I need to promote this brand because we're genuine.
Exactly.
So I need to do stuff like that.
Just to get the message out. One thing I realised is within the first 3 months as well, when we started getting like voice notes and phone calls of people saying, like, we had a son. Our son lost all his hair. Now we're finally seeing hair coming back. Like, that touched us. Like, our genuine efforts to put something out there is actually reaping benefits.
Yeah, so for people.
But coming back to the purpose and attention, so I think we've established that searching for a purpose in social media, it is a madman's game. You can't find purpose at the end of the next reel or at the end of the next TikTok. It's not there. Like, you find purpose by going out, by discovering yourself, having those conversations with yourself, and figuring out what does your purpose and what does your journey through life actually look like.
So it's like, if you want to lose your purpose,
consume it.
Go on social media. That is actually it.
If you wanna lose your purpose, please also follow our page, Summer Remedies. But also
it's a little bit contradicting, But...
Exactly. But you kind of have to. I think by us, there's pros and cons to everything. By us posting genuine content, by us posting things that actually has a meaning and a purpose, that's us using social media for good. But our video is like, what, a minute long? The next video is going to be something else. So you have to be so self-aware. And I think that's another thing that people need to be more conscious on, is that I was able to see your situation because I wasn't involved in it. But it's taken you a fair few months to then become self-aware of, the views are making you arrogant. When you're riding that wave, you barely have time to even think
blind to it, yeah.
You're blind to it. You're blindsided. You're like, I want to make the next video. Let me just obsess over the next trend. But you don't have time to self-reflect. And this comes back to the original point, which was that self-reflection of who are you and how is that internal conversation actually happening? Are you having those conversations? Or are you just mindlessly scrolling and letting another whole trend or another video influence the thoughts and the conversation inside of you?
Because those two things can't happen at the same time.
Exactly.
You can't have inner thoughts and think about what you're genuinely doing and also mindlessly scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I can assure you, if you actually, before you open the app and you thought to yourself, what are my intentions when opening this app? You wouldn't open it in the first place. Because it's literally just a waste of time.
Exactly. So shout out to all the people. I think this is going to be, we're going to wrap it up here because I think we've spoken a lot about attention to yourself. We've spoken about social media, how you can get lost in your dopamine, how by losing yourself in dopamine, your inner thoughts are also affected and influenced.
Very clouded.
Yeah, you're just like living in a fog for so long and you don't even know what direction you're going in within the fog. Then there's the attention to self, paying attention to yourself, having that inner conversation and finding who you actually are, who you're meant to be, what your purpose actually is. So on that note, I think my chai is finally finished. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you guys have actually gained something from these conversations. We will be continuing to release these episodes and we'll have many guests talking about their culture, their path through spirituality, the things that they're engaged in. And we're not here to preach or anything, we're here to learn just as much as you are. So from myself, from Amin, from Julian behind the camera, take care and we will catch you later. And we got some snacks for people. So the chai that we were drinking, let me tell you guys.
Force that joke.
Nice, force that joke. The chai we were drinking today is Masala Chai. Highly recommend. Very good, your auntie will love it.